champion in WCW history, Goldberg.
Vocabulary too. Comprehension of this edition is all brand new. You're through. I'm interplanetarian like Doctor Who. So who?
Fuck your beef, no relief. I step on stage, girls scream like I'm Keith.
Ringtime Pro Wrestling is in the building. Keith and Keshia is here to record a podcast. Keshia, say hi to the people.
Hey, everybody. What's going on? How's everybody doing out there? You know, always got to ask. Because I actually do care, you know. I think we both care. We always want to know how y'all doing out there. It's a good feeling.
I hope y'all all are doing well. I don't actually want to know how you do it. Like, that is the worst thing. Like, when you say hi, because I've always just said how you doing as like a way of like just a random greeting. And there are some people who will tell you how they do it. And you didn't really want to know all that.
Okay, yeah.
They give it all to you. Like I don't care. Your son got shot. It just really.
Oh my God.
I kind of just want to move on for the rest of this day. But
okay.
We here. We having fun. Me and Keshia were discussing wrestling theme music. Apparently, one of her friends discovered that Spotify has the wrestling albums on there.
Which I could have told him if he would have asked, because I listen to that stuff all the time. Like, all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I got a playlist with them. Also, I got one that I use some of them. Like, some of the music is just in my musical rotation. Like Lana in the Sand.
Yeah.
That's just about hard rock music rotation. Like, it's not a wrestling theme to me. It's just a song. Like I said, I was like, man, when that joint come on, I'd be bumping. Like, if they come on in the car, Keshia, I lean back a little bit extra. I need that. It's like we need theme music in life. Like, when I come to work and I get off that elevator, my music should hit. And if I could get Lana in the Sand as my theme music, Keshia, I'd change my whole life.
Hey, I'm just saying.
I'm telling you, I'd wear suits every day to work. Like, I would change my whole life. Like,
I'm dealing with you.
I come in like, yo, I gotta look the part. You know what I mean? I'm coming in like Evolution. I wear the suit every day. I wear the suit everywhere I go. Everywhere I go, that music hit. I got a suit. I'm coming there. I'm looking crispy and clean. I'll probably lose 50 pounds just so I can look good.
I'm not dealing with you. I swear I'm not. It's funny because one of the things I brought up to him was the rock covers that they did for the themes. This was like what, like 2001 ish. Like it. Oh my God! Those are some of my favorite versions of some of these wrestlers, like Kane when they did Slow Chemical for Kane and Glass Shatters for Stone Cold, which is my ringtone, by the way, because it's just so awesome. Like, those are some of my favorites, but the rap covers were absolutely horrible. The rap covers were just bad, man. I was like...
You would be referring to the WWE Ruthless Aggression album.
Yeah, Lord help me.
No, it wasn't Ruthless Aggression. It was just called WWE Aggression. Hold on, Keisha, that's you taking me back. Even though the Run DMC DX song to me was the shit. You can't tell me nothing about the Run DMC DX song. Also, that video that they made for that song was a little salacious. Like, I think Vince McMahon did not do the math on his daughter being in that video.
Right.
Because it was her, the dudes from DX, Tori, and it just and some butt naked hoes. And it goes bad. Like, I ain't gonna say it goes bad. It just, I don't think that somebody running for senator later would have had their daughter in that video. I mean, it really...
No,
it didn't get a lot of run or not play. But you gotta think, just the way the WWF was ran at the time, I don't think somebody did the math that they was gonna run for senator later. But hey man, they ran for senator, they spent $90 million and still did not win. But
right. I mean, I think that was of course that was my absolute favorite out of all of them. Because to me, that was the only one that was really, like, good, you know? The rest of them was just kind of, nah. Like, I think that it was just, I don't know. It was something about the rest of them. I was just kind of like, I wasn't feeling them too much. But when they did the rock covers, oh, man, I was, oof. Those were, just, like, the ones for Kane and Stone Cold, and I have to honestly say Chris Benoit were like perfect. Like, I think theirs fit the respective wrestlers like to a T. Like, it was just awesome.
Do you know Undertaker has his own album of shit?
Does he have that many different? Yeah. I was gonna ask, like, does he have his like that many different versions of his theme music? Like, but then I have to remember.
It is called Undertaker from the Vault. It has 1990 Survivor Series music. It has the Funeral March, Graveyard Symphony, Graveyard Symphony 2, Spirit of the Undertaker 2. Dark Side 2, Dark Side 3, Corporate Ministry, Unholy Alliance, Dead Man, You're Gonna Pay, Darkest Side, Rest in Peace, The Undertaker the Original, The Undertaker 1999, 25 Years to the Undertaker, Take You to Your Grave, and Death is My Best Friend. It is 21 tracks of just Undertaker music.
Good Lord. Man.
I'm telling you, if you search WWE, look, oh man, the WWE put out an album called The Music of WCW. And, woo, jeez, it got that heat.
Really?
It got that heat. What you know about this?
Hey, while you playing, Lance was just talking about that.
Yo, do you realize in the hook they say you might end up in a body bag?
Yeah, yeah. I was like, "Are you serious?" Like, wait a minute. Wait, like, did he just say you might end up in a body bag? Like, I remember hearing it for the first time and told myself like, he didn't just say that. That did not just happen. Like, he really seriously. I had to listen to that twice, and I was like, okay, but he was for real about that though. Who allowed this to be on here? Like, seriously, y'all need to stop it. Just stop it. Like, I was so done. I don't know. All I know is I didn't know. Okay, that I didn't know this Undertaker album existed, but now that I literally just found it on my Spotify, I'm definitely going to save it as a playlist. And I did not know that album existed. But then I see they came out this year. Like, why didn't nobody say anything to me about this? Like, why am I just finding out, man?
I'm just saying that, like, they got a WCW over like 40-something tracks. And it even includes the Natural Born Thrillers theme song, which they were on the 96 January 15th episode of Nitro that I watch currently, or I've been watching. I watched it once. I'm about to watch it again for the notes to get it out there for my half of the Monday Night Wars. Buff Daddy, Hugh Morris, Scotty Riggs, Eddie Guerrero. I mean, just it goes down, man. Sting, Eric Bischoff, Blas have one for it. K-Dog, Conan theme song. What are we talking about, Keish? Rap This Crap. Kurt Hennig.
Oh my God, they got Rap This Crap.
They gotta have that No Limit Wrestlers on here.
Oh my God.
Tell me they got the LWO theme song. They got Big Betty Booty Daddy. They got G.I. Bro theme song.
G.I. Bro.
That is so racist.
That was so horrible. Such a racist gimmick. Why would they have that on there? Yo, do you seriously have that on there?
Yeah, man.
Oh my God, why is all this stuff on here?
Chavo's Groove. I mean, it gets bad, Keish.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't, you know what? They don't have, well, I guess that would be included into, because that became Booker T's thing by himself later. I was going to say they don't have the thing for Harlem Heat, but I guess they wouldn't because it was moved to WWE when Booker T moved to WWE. They used it as his theme music.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. But I'm still adding this as a playlist. So go ahead and make a new playlist for that too. There's 60 songs on here, man. This is 2 hours worth of music.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh man. Like,
yep. Go ahead. Waste the day away. Listen to wrestler themes.
Hey, if you're a fan, like, this is heaven. Like, you can listen to this stuff anytime. Like, this is just, this is not, as you have stated before, this is not just themes. Like, some of this stuff is just music. Like, it's just funny to me.
Yeah. With that being said, this Ringtime Pro Wrestling. We in here. We enjoyed. This, at least our banter this early before the show was all about wrestling. But Keish, let's get deep into the show. Let's talk that real, because we had a Raw and it was big. And it was probably one of the biggest Raws of the year, and it probably is going to go down as the highest rated Raw this year. And that's simply because somebody came back But also, I thought it was a decent show.
Right. Right,
But
I did.
with that being said, let's not get beyond who sold the ticket, right? But yeah. So without further ado, let's get into the show, and we'll go through our usual progressions. There's no pay-per-view to speak of this week.
No, at all.
All our shows have been previews and recaps, right? We're going to talk about the messy TNA situation because it's still going on, and they got stuff going from all corners, right? We got some documents from the Tennessee Department of Revenue. Like, that's how serious it is.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, the tax man want his cut too right now. So, with the tax man coming for you, it's deep, right? Because, like, that's the bill that you got to pay.
Right.
Like, that's the bill where people can come and, like, take stuff from you. I don't like... There's people that I don't mess with in the bill pantheon, and those are the people who can, like, just take theirs. You know what I mean? Like, the people who... They can go to the bank and be like, yo, I need the money out of his account. And the bank got to be like, yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah, you don't mess with those folks. You don't mess with people who can come to your job and be like, yo, before you give him that check, I'm going to need to take a look at them dividends.
Right.
Like that's how real that some of these people can get, right? Or you don't mess with the people who could be like, yo, put a lock on his house. No, not a lock that he got. Like, put my lock on his house.
Right. Where we have the key to it.
Yeah.
Now, don't give him the key. Just know that there's a key that he won't have. Like, we need that shut down. Thank you.
Right.
Right.
Like he not getting in there till we get paid.
Right.
And everything in there is ours. You know what I mean? Like,
and
let's come to your house and grab your shit and take it to the pawn shop.
Right. Oh, and if he doesn't pay us by a certain time, then it all does become ours, and we're going to sell it. Like, no one has time for this. like, no one has time for this. Please and thank you.
Yeah, I have no time for your shenanigans. But let's get into Raw. Raw was decent. So it opens up with Seth Rollins, Jericho, and Kevin Owens, which is our usual triangle right now. And I think it's kind of interesting where they're working this because you can see the tension between Jericho and Owens building, right?
You're right.
Where does that go? Because here's the thing. Chris Jericho don't want to play second fiddle to nobody. He Chris freaking Jericho.
Exactly. Which
six-time world champion. Was he 9-time or 10-time Intercontinental champion? Record holder for most IC title reigns. Possibly the greatest IC champion of all time.
Right.
Possibly. Because here's the thing. I say that, and there's some stats and statistics for different people for IC champ, but Randy Savage is my OG when it comes to this. It's hard for me to be like somebody was a better IC champ than Randy Savage. And I say that because Randy could main event with the IC title. And the only other person who could do that was Shawn Michaels. But Randy, Shawn Michaels, and Razor Ramon could all main event with the IC title. Also, Mr. Perfect is very high up there with me in the IC title. But that's neither here nor there, Keith.
Right.
My point was, Jericho done won a lot of stuff. Multiple time tag team champion. He's won all the belts. That's where we get that. So, you think he want to be Universal Champ? Yes, he does. Also, I thought he would have left by now, but he's still kicking it. Every time it seemed like they about to phase him out because he about to do that time where he go away, he's still kicking it.
Right.
And can 2016 be the year of still kicking it? Because I can say it about Shane McMahon. That Shane thing was supposed to be like a one-off. I think Shane said, "Fuck it. I think I'm coming for my job back."
Oh yeah, yeah. We thought that it was going to be like this. Okay, he's going next week. Bye. That never happened. It never happened, and it surprised a lot of people. It surprised me. I actually thought that I was going to look up and he was going to be gone again, but he's still hanging in there, and I mean like really hanging in there. There is no indication that he's going to leave like anytime soon whatsoever. So I'm wondering now. I'm asking myself the question like, what's his role in the like corporate office? What does he do now? Like what's up with him? Like I really want to know. It's because it's more now than what we all anticipated it to be. It's way more than that. And now you actually get to see, like, oh, this is long term. Like, this is not gonna waver anytime soon. And with Jericho, like, I'm waiting for there to be that time where he makes his exit, but it's not even like a hint of it, like, coming. Of course, I know that him and the Kevin Owens quote unquote friendship is not going to last much longer, but it brings the question to the mind of how long are they about to allow this to continue? Because like I've been saying for the longest, who's going to turn on who? Because we're talking about Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho here. Like, who is going to turn on who? Will it be Kevin Owens, who's the Universal Champion, or would it be Jericho?
A lot of people think it would be Jericho simply because Owens at some point is setting up for a face run, but I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. But even if either one turned on each other, I don't think either one garners any sympathy as a face. But yeah, we go ahead. Rollins takes on Jericho. Rollins defeats Jericho after Kevin Owens gets involved again. It also kind of messes up the match for Jericho. After that, we get some Goldberg promo videos, which were littered throughout the show, Keish. Like, I'm going to say this. I give them all the props in the setup for this thing. All the props in the world. Because the setup for this Goldberg situation has been phenomenal.
Yeah, it has. It has. Oh, man. Like, the build-up for it has been incredible. Every little piece of it up until the actual moment has been full of a certain level of excitement. There hasn't been anyone that I really know. I'm not too proud of that. Like, if you weren't excited about it before, all you had to do was just watch for like all of like maybe 20 minutes, and then bam, that was it. Like, you were like, oh man, yeah.
Right. Well, I think they have to do two things. One, they have to reconnect your older fans, and then for your younger fans who aren't familiar, because understand this. If you're like 12, you have no reference point of Goldberg.
Right.
And I mean no reference point because he was gone from the WWF when you were born. And right. WCW was years before that. So you grow up in a Goldbergless world. But like when I tell you that this dude was the hottest thing going in wrestling, and he was the hottest thing going two different runs, right?
Right.
Because his WCW run where he starts the myth, the magic, the legend of it is so next level, right? Because during that Monday Night War, WCW has the stranglehold on the ratings. And this is what wrestling is like at its most popular. So, like, I still don't know how we're going to find 11 million households again, but I'm hoping for it, right?
Right.
Just as a content provider and as somebody who kind of their business runs off of the health of the wrestling business. If we find 11 million households again, it's gold. Because that was the thing. Like 6 million people were tuning into one program, 5 million tuning into the other. Nobody was really losing. And then there was this guy who they created a new star. Like WCW only created 2 stars during the Monday Night Wars, because everybody else was either pre-existed, like your Stings and Flairs, or they were borrowed from WWF, Ali, Hogan, Diesel, Hall, you know what I mean?
Right.
So they only created 2, and they gave another guy a launching pad, right? So Booker T comes up during this time. And just the hard work and perseverance of Booker T is an amazing story in both organizations.
It is.
Then DDP. Like, DDP legitimately becomes a star, which is crazy because I watched DDP in 96 last week, and I'm like, they had no plans of doing anything with this dude. Like, he was one step above glorified jobber when he was start, because you gotta remember he starts wrestling at 35, coming from the managerial perspective.
Right.
And he gets better with time, but it just doesn't. Nobody has big plans for him. But then he has that feud with the NWO when he feuds with Savage, and the light switch clicks, and it goes. They build a new star, right? Like a legitimate guy who he was used in the Karl Malone, Dennis Rodman, Hogan angle. You know what I mean?
Oh Lord, that was just
right. But that's a huge thing.
Right.
But Goldberg, organically theirs. Like, they build him from the ground up. Like, they get him in the system, they work him, and they sell him every week.
Right.
Like, he's the blueprint. Like, this is how you build a guy. And he goes through and he squashes it and he squashes it and he squashes it and he squashes it. Then they elevate his opponents a little bit. And he still crushes. Like, my Goldberg wake-up call was he takes on Raven for the U.S. title and the Flock is there.
Oh, yeah.
And it's Goldberg against Raven. And there's like there's a rules to the match where the Flock interfere. And it's basically Goldberg against the Flock.
All right.
And it's just a series of spears and jackhammers where everything's going crazy. Yeah. So they built this star. And he takes off. He helps them deal with the company folds for whatever reasons. You know, he's kind of faded to the background, and you don't see him. Then 2003 shows up in WWF, 2003, 2004. And for the year run that he has, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Putting butts in seats, the feud with Evolution and Triple H, one-on-one match with The Rock. I mean, like, it goes down. And then, you know, it culminates in 2004 at WrestleMania, at WrestleMania 20, which is the greatest WrestleMania that we never talk about.
Right.
And he beats Brock. And that was like him and Brock's both last match in the company for a long time. And now we come full circle on the wrestling, and here we are again with Goldberg. And like I said, we reintroduced him. And because I think there's so many people who love him and are fans, I think it becomes infectious, and the other people who are not familiar just go along. They be like, oh, everybody is into this. Well, I'm going to be into it too. I ain't going to look like no sucker.
Right.
And then we go from there. What is it? Incredible video packages. Lita sits down and sit-down interviews with Charlotte and Sasha Banks. Great sell for this match.
I think that having them separately, as opposed to, I thought a together interview was what was going to happen at first. I thought that it was going to be like Lita, Sasha on one side, Charlotte on the other. But the fact that they did separate the ladies and had 2 separate interviews was actually way better when I actually got to see it. It was definitely better to watch. It was definitely better for the both of them to be able to speak, answer questions and able to talk without interruption. I personally love the fact that they were able to express themselves without having to revert to try and cut each other off. Like, some interviews go greatly when both opponents are on each side and, there's a mediator in the middle. But some of them don't help anything. And for this, I don't think it would have helped anything had they both been in the same room at the same time. So this is definitely a great, I agree with you. It's a great sell for the match itself, because this match, as we all have been reminded, and I will remind everyone again, is history being made. And it's way bigger than some might write it off to be. Like, it's 2 women, they're inside of, it's not just 2 women inside of a steel cage. Like, that's one thing, in itself. But these are 2 women inside Hell in a Cell. And it's funny because I want it to go, like, way further than I know it will. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. Like, I really seriously want it to be, like, I know it's going to be huge. Like, I'm not taking that away from it. I know it's going to be huge. I want it to be, like, I want this match to be, like, super extreme, Like, I want it to be, like, one of the most extreme women's matches that I've ever seen in life. And I know it's only going to go to a certain point. So I'm just but it makes me want to watch more. That's the I think that's what this is supposed to do. I think that's what everything that's leading up to that is how this is supposed to be. It's supposed to make me want to watch and make me want to see, how this is going to go and how far this is going to be taken. So I'm definitely, and especially because we've seen different varieties of women's matches, other than no holds barred, which is about extreme, I think, as WWE has gotten with it. So, I personally I'm ready for this. I am. And I am glad that they didn't shut it down, because that would have been so disappointing.
Right. Throughout the show, other matches took place. Big E defeated Sheamus as we're setting up for this collision course of Sheamus and Cesaro versus the New Day.
Did you see Cesaro on Facebook Live? I actually was watching him on Facebook Live as I was watching Raw. And it was funny because, his speed was going a little faster than Raw was, but except for when the commercial came back. But, like, it was interesting watching from his point of view and then watching it on, like, actual TV. So I thought it was actually kind of awesome.
Right.
But
one thing the WWE does great is social media integration. They figured that out pretty good, right?
Right.
Let's see. Braun Stroman defeats 3 jobbers instead of 1. And then Sami Zayn shows up. because Braun wants some real competition. And Sami just gets pushed down, and Braun leaves. I guess this is the first step with Braun actually getting a real program.
Right.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, squash matches work, but now it's time. Yeah, it people like that patient no more. Like, we got to understand that he's a big, unstoppable dude. Now we need to get some real matches up under. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And find out how you can work smaller. You know what I mean? And sell a little bit, make it believable, that kind of thing.
I think Sami Zayn. At first, I wasn't really thinking that Sami Zayn was going to be a good match for him, but I understand it from a sense of, like, he needs an opponent that's not someone that he can just, like, break in half in 2 seconds, you know? I think we've seen enough of that. But also, Sami Zayn, I don't really support the whole big guy versus big guy thing too much anyway. You know, you don't need anybody that physically matches his stature, like, off top. You know, that's not necessary. Mismatches are some of the best matches, and now I'm starting to kind of feed into it, because I'm not going to lie, when I first seen Sami come out, I was like, wait, is this going to be, like, the person that's going to challenge Braun Stroman? Why? But then I was like, well, after they actually had the little interview with him in the back, and he was like, and his simplest words for the question of why would you challenge him made me be like, okay, I'm with this. And that was Sami just simply saying, because nobody else would. Which is true. Like, nobody else would. So it had to be somebody. We knew it was going to be somebody. I can honestly say, though, I didn't think it was going to be him. Like that was furthest from my mind. But, I mean, there was nobody else that I thought, you know, they would plug into that. So this is going to be interesting to see. This is definitely going to be interesting to see.
Right. We go through. Rusev beats up Roman Reigns with some help from Lana.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this. And I think I said this last show. Far more interested in this feud than I thought I would be. Far more interested. Like, I want to say on the side, this might be the most interesting feud on Raw. Like, I would like Owens and Rollins to be totally independent by itself right now, without Jericho involved, and then I could really fully assess that. But Roman and Rusev, very interesting, very good matches. I think Rusev carries the freight in this thing, but Roman still holds up his end of the bargain. And it's a brutal situation. Like, these dudes can't help but hurt each other.
Right.
And it makes for entertainment. Now, the thing is that they have to manage how they do their matches, because they had a hell of a pay-per-view match and a lackluster match on Raw the next night. And it was like, because they shouldn't be wrestling back-to-back nights.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Like, everybody's hurt from the night before. Like, let's not do that. They put together a pay-per-view performance. Let that. You got to do something else. Work with your other clients.
Right, exactly.
Make sure they got attention. Mm-hmm.
If you're going to have them wrestling, divide them and have them wrestle someone else. If anything, just don't have them wrestle at all, because it's just better that way. But don't make them. I'm really getting a little tired of them making two people that just wrestle each other again the next night. He wants his rematch tonight. Well, don't give it to him. Like, just don't. That there is no such thing as no, and I'm seeing you say no to people too many times. Like, just don't do this.
I think it diminishes the pay-per-view. Also, I think it's okay with lower card wrestlers, but main event level guys, no. What else? So we get to the end of the show. Goldberg finally shows up physically,
Right.
and he accepts Brock's challenge. Keish, looking at Goldberg, and I can't give you I can give you a definite because I'm sitting here with a computer in front of me. But how do he look to you?
Old. like if you really want me to be old, like that's how he looked to me. He looked old. I'm not saying he looked old, like, oh, I know I can't go again old, because he didn't look that bad. He still looks in great physical shape and, all of that, but yeah, he looks a little old. Usually, in returns, you usually see whoever comes back look a little younger than usual. He looks a little old. Like, I was kind of concerned. Not about his physical health, because he doesn't look that bad. He doesn't look bad or anything like that. But I'm just kind of concerned of like how this is going to go, because Lesnar looks at his prime, like, tip top shape, like everything. Goldberg doesn't look that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really seriously see this as this being like a Lesnar beatdown. And I really don't know how to assess the situation any further than that. Like, I really wonder, like, is
right.
Goldberg ready for this? Like,
yeah. Well, at 49 years old, now he might be the greatest shape for any 49-year-old, but he's 49 years old.
Right.
I don't know if he's prepared, but I don't know if there's a way to get prepared for what Brock is going to bring. Brock is a lot more physical than he used to be. But, hey, we're selling tickets, and we're selling video games. And that's what it's all about. Because the thing is, they want to push the video game with this match, and they want to sell some pay-per-views. So they're getting what they want. But, it was enough money on the table for Goldberg to come back. One thing I like about Goldberg is he's honest, right?
Right.
When he doesn't feel like doing something, he doesn't do it. So you got two guys in a match where it's like, no, we're not doing full time because we really don't want to do that. But they get paid this big check for this one-off, and it's going to work. And right. I think people are going to tune in. Goldberg's doing also interesting. His son was at Raw, and they said his son never seen him wrestle, which makes sense because his son was born probably after his career had ended.
Right.
So instead of just seeing it on YouTube, and back in the day, you want to look it up close and personal, make sure it was real. And so now that gets to happen, and that's a great story.
It is a great story. It's an awesome story. I just wonder how the story is going to end. like I'm really seriously wondering how the story is going to end. So, I have a lot of questions, but I know that I won't get my answer until they actually wrestle. So there's that. But I am a little bit more in tune with this match actually happening. I can honestly say. Beforehand, I wasn't really too excited about it because I had just watched their last encounter at WrestleMania 20 and wasn't impressed by it at all. So I'm really seriously like, okay, how is this going to go this time? How much more different will it be? And I also was reminded that, the last time was so different, was the way that it was, because these were two people, like one of them was leaving, and the other, I think, just really didn't care. So it was just kind of like, how do you make this happen,
Mm-hmm. Right. So yeah, we're here now. We got what we wanted. Lesnar will be on Raw next week, and he'll respond, and we'll set the table. Um, and with that, this is time for us to take our break. We are back on the other side with birthdays, news, this TNA stuff that got even weirder. And then we talk some SmackDown. We talk a little, just a bit of NXT and this Dusty Tag Team Classic. Because, man, there's some teams that's cold out here. When you look at the parents, you're like, I don't know how anybody's going to win this thing.
Right.
But we'll be back on the other side, and we'll holler at you in a minute.
Tonight you have a gigantic opportunity in front of you for the WWE World Championship. How are you feeling? What's going through your mind?
I mean, look at my hand. It's trembling. I would be lying to say I wasn't nervous. But last week, I found myself in a match against AJ Styles, the WWE World Champion. And somehow I survived. Then I found myself on Talking Smack, sitting right next to Daniel Bryan. And he was actually talking to me. And then the unthinkable happened. He made my match tonight on SmackDown Live for the WWE World Championship against AJ Styles. And never in my life I would have believed this was going to happen. But it is. And I know I don't deserve it. I know I'm not in AJ Styles' league. He's the champ that runs the camp. But no matter what, my life is going to change forever. Because one day I'm going to be able to tell my grandchildren that their grandpa stood in the ring, competed for the WWE World Championship on SmackDown Live.
Thank you so much, James. Good luck tonight, and hell of a show.
All right, everybody, welcome back for the birthdays.
Birthday!
Wrestling birthdays. One of my favorite segments of the show. Today is October 20th, which is a Thursday. You will probably hear this on a Friday, so you can reach back to people. But Chavo Guerrero celebrated a birthday. Chavo was 46. Finley celebrated a birthday today. Finley turns 58. Lenny Lane celebrated a birthday. And Scott Hall. Scott Hall turns 58. Razor Ramon, shout out, homie. And then tomorrow, which will be the day you probably hear this, which is Friday, Bushwhacker Butch celebrates birthday. Butch is 72. Which is, wow, that's old. But that's it for birthdays. And on to the news.
Oh, Lord.
Favorite part of the show, Keisha.
Yeah, sure it is. I am sure it is.
So TNA got all kinds of trouble.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
Okay. The financials of this company are all over the place. Can I tell you how much I fear for them, but I am amazed by them all at the same time?
Yes. Please.
So much of this would have closed any other company. TNA still putting out shows every week. They put out their pay-per-view. They got a new champ. It still goes for them. They're still a thing, Keish. No matter what. And somehow still found a way to have one of the hottest angles in wrestling with the Broken Hardys.
Yeah, no, right? Oh, it's awesome. It is. Like, I don't think really people really appreciate the Broken Hardys storyline. I don't think they really understand it or get it, but it is greatness. Like, they hit a nail on the head with that. And it's crazy because that's the only place you can see something that awesome. And as everybody's kind of like, when is this going to end? I'm just riding the wave while it's still going. So they're doing the exact thing I feel like you should do when you're in this kind of situation. they are continuing as if nothing's happening. They are. They're kind of like they're just kind of just going along with the program until somebody says, okay, this is done. You know, like officially just shuts it all down and is like, you're done with that. I would too.
Yeah, no, I mean, all the noise going on outside, they like, don't hear it. Don't hear it. Right now, according to Meltzer, in the Wrestling Observer, TNA Entertainment is being sued, have been sued over the summer by American Express Travel related services for unpaid bills.
Yeah.
The lawsuit was filed in New York State Supreme Court, officially 7/20. They are claiming TNA used their American Express corporate, and they needed to pay them $269,049 in travel expenses. According to the claim, TNA agreed to make payments and pay court costs if the case ever was taken to court, in addition to legal fees. Now, this is the latest in lawsuits hurting the company. They have been filed by Eric Bischoff, Billy Corgan, and Audience of One. Now, to be fair, love Meltzer, and that he may have found a way to find this that I couldn't find. I looked up New York State lawsuits and I couldn't find a lawsuit. And American Express Travel is suing a lot of people, but I didn't see them suing TNA. So I don't have the documents for you, is what I'm saying. But Meltzer does good journalism, so yeah, he might have something that I don't have. You know what I mean? Fully fair.
Right.
Quiche, kind of sticky. Kind of sticky. Well, on top of that, they have tax issues with the state of Tennessee.
Yeah. Oof. I went through that document.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I sent you the documents. I didn't get a chance to take a look at them.
No, I looked at them. I took a look at them as soon as you sent them to me, and I was like, this is ugly. Like, I mean, like, stupid ugly. Man, I didn't know it was that bad. Ugh. Like, I think that the full effect of like what they're actually going through doesn't hit you until you see something like that. People, if you haven't seen these documents, man, you have got to, because that will give you a whole picture of what it's like.
Yeah. Basically, they put a tax lien on them. Once again, we talk about people who can come and take your stuff. They put a lien on them in Davidson County, Tennessee, as of September the 8th, 2016. For production services already rented, the other side, TNA search the borrower. And they go through all the stuff, man, and it's pretty bad. They have outstanding invoices of $29,000. But see, this the tax lien and the documents that's here seem a little different.
Right.
But apparently they had unpaid monthly payments that were scheduled to happen on March 18th of 2016 and end in August. And each payment was like $35,000. There's a few payments for like $57,000, and none of them were made. But I mean, it's a cash-strapped company. I don't know. So, it's pretty bad out here in these streets.
Right.
So TNA is they are in some major legal issues, but just found out Fight Network issued a statement about TNA because there's some things going down. Anthem Sports Entertainment, parent company to Fight Network, today confirmed that it recently made a working capital loan to fund the operations of TNA Impact Wrestling. Fight Network is licensee of TNA programming for the broadcast in U.S., Canada, and other international markets. It is also the exclusive licensee of TNA for streaming internet-delivered TV.
Right.
Very important thing there. Fight Network also has offered to provide TNA Impact Wrestling with funding to repay the loans made by Mr. Billy Corgan and is positioned to provide additional transitional assistance to the company. What they're saying is they're going to step in because Fight Network needs this content, and they can't run the risk of this thing going to the toilet. Corgan had put up his own bread for TNA to keep the thing floating. All right, Billy, they owe you money. Here's your money, so you can at least get your lawsuit off the table.
Right.
Now, we still got to keep this company float. So, we'll pay the existing bills to keep this thing floating, and TNA will pay us back. Risky proposition, Keish. Risky freaking proposition. Now, the way they may make this work out is that TNA is supposed to pay their rights fees. You know what I mean? No, that's right. They're supposed to pay TNA for having a show on their network, right?
Right.
You're just going to be putting a show on my network and you ain't getting paid. So my money get recouped. Right?
Yeah.
So if I'm supposed to pay you $50,000 this week, I'll hold on to that. And I'll keep holding on to that till we get to the number that I had to put out to get you back going. But Fight Network is very happy with this decision. TNA is a strong property for Fight Network and is a licensee and global distribution partner. We have keen interest in seeing the company not only survive but to continue to grow and thrive alongside our own growth. Leonard Asper, CEO of Anthem, we are hopeful that the company can soon get back to doing what it does best, which is produce great wrestling content. For information, contact Anthem Sports Entertainment, Ariel Schreiner, Director of Programming and Communication. They give his email. Ringtime Pro Wrestling has not contacted Ariel as of yet, but there will be contact made and possibly a discussion and that you guys may be able to hear. Or if not, I will just experience the email correspondence on the next show. But I got some questions. So I'll go, me and Ariel go talk.
All right.
Yeah, that's going down. Let's go positive, Keish. Do you know the WWF knows what Guardians of the Galaxy is now?
Do they now?
Yeah. Did not promote the first one when the guy Batista was working for the company and going to headline WrestleMania.
Right.
Might have helped. No. But I saw a promo for them. They're like, hey, because, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is coming out.
Right.
And Drax is back, and is the WWE's own Dave Batista. We proud of Dave. See what he doing?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, y'all missed the boat. And if y'all would have treated him right, he would have hung around. He could have cross promoted when he was being a Bond villain.
Right.
Quiet as kept, building up a nice resume as an actor, doing major films. You know what I mean?
Right. Now,
shout out to David.
Instead, you decided that you just completely ignored the first one when he was with the company. So now all of a sudden it's a different story because I think someone pointed out to them or they realized how much they missed from the first one. Not actually promoting it like they should have, or whatever they want to call it. That's pretty much what it was. So I'm glad that they are actually getting in tune with this one, but yeah, it's a little late for that. I don't know how this is really finna go for them. So I guess we'll just have to see how well this actually.
Well, I don't think anything bad will come from it one way or the other. I think only good comes out of it for them.
Right.
Let's go with some little sad news. Undertaker reportedly underwent hip surgery, which explains the pictures that some of y'all may have seen online of him walking around with crutches. Michelle McCool, his wife, confirmed, and through some other representatives, that he has had recent hip surgery. I'm going to say that probably effectively puts him out for WrestleMania. I don't know how long ago the hip surgery took place. Here's the thing, too. Wrestling is weird. Sports is weird. Sports throws off the idea and calendar for how much time it takes to actually heal from an injury.
Right.
Because, yeah, with sports people, it's like, yeah, it'll heal in 2 months and they come back in 2 months. You get that injury in real life, you ain't doing nothing.
All right.
You ain't got shit to do no more. I don't know if this puts him on, but you would think a hip, right? A broken hip, like you got to re-screw that all together and learn how to walk again.
Exactly.
And once that's put together, do you want to damage anything potentially by getting in a ring?
You're right. It does. Like, it makes it makes an injury look way easier to recover from than what it really is. I mean, seriously. Like, you're right, the timelines that be given, if you were to pay attention, if you were only going by the way wrestlers recover as opposed to a regular normal person recovers, you'll be sitting at home too like, oh yeah, I'm just having neck surgery, you know. I'll be cool in probably about 6 months, 7 months. No, you won't. Like, seriously, you won't. Like, no. Let's be honest about this situation. You won't be. Like, just because a doctor's going to tell you, like, no, that's not how that goes, you know? It's definitely misleading. But the way we see it on TV and the way that we see it happening with them, it's just different, you know? Because they make it look different, and they do it well. I mean, very well. So I don't know how to even really respond to that, because it's kind of, you know, it's like, all right, how long did this happen for real? Because in my mind, you're still hurt. You're still hurt, and you're still going through the notions. You just, it's just that you are still working, you know? So I don't know how to really even get into all of that. It's crazy to me. But for us to still be talking about, like, oh, how does this affect him being at WrestleMania? WrestleMania is, what, April? Like, early April? Yeah. Like, early April? Like, we're not talking, like, second week, third week. Like, we're talking, like, the first couple of days in April. Like, if we're still having that discussion and it's October and he just had hip surgery, I don't think that we are going to be seeing Taker at WrestleMania, personally. But, you know, you never know, because the next thing you know, you'll be seeing the promos and stuff and everything for him. So, I guess for me, I just have to wait and see, like, what exactly they do plan to do as far as that goes. So, but I hope that he does have a very good recovery, because I know that has to suck.
Yep. So, New Jack is in the hospital also with a blood clot. Hope speedy recovery to New Jack. Not a lot of information besides that.
They say it was in his lung.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty much all that I got. But, yeah, they said it was in his lung. I was like, oh, that sucks. That sucks. But other than that, I mean, you're right, there wasn't much else that was said about it. So.
Yeah. So, do you want to talk about Paige proposing to Alberto Del Rio?
Okay, so at a show, Paige got down on one knee and in the middle of the ring, in front of everybody, and she proposed to her boyfriend, Alberto Del Rio. And it was a video made of it, so people, you can see an actual video of this happening. I actually thoroughly shocked that she did it, but I mean, it happened. So I guess he said yes. It looked at. I didn't watch the video all the way through, but it definitely looked at. It was accepted. So there's that. She's bold. She's a bold one. But what's their age difference? Like, I have to honestly ask that question. Like, what's their age difference? That's something I have to.
Yeah, I can find it out for you. But
I need to look. Like,
I also want to remind you that his divorce is not final yet.
Yeah, so I'm still wondering how that's gonna go. How is that gonna happen? But that's not for me to worry about. I'm just glad. I'm just actually shocked that she actually did it. You know.
He's 39. She's 24. So it's like a 15-year age gap. And speaking of Paige, we could talk about her neck surgery, which I think went okay.
Yeah. From my understanding, it went good, but of course she's going to be out for, they say a few months, but you know, I'm like, a few months for a neck surgery? No, it's not going to happen. Like, it's not going to happen. She has been removed from the opening video for Monday Night Raw. I don't know if anybody's noticed that or not, but that has happened, and she has been replaced with TJ Perkins. She was already on suspension. And now that she done had the neck surgery, she's going to be out for even longer. So, I guess that it's only fitting that happened. I don't know.
Yeah, here's the thing. She'll probably be out a few months. They got on another 60-day suspension. I don't know if she's going to come back. Time heals some wounds, but it's gotten messy. She claims she was suspended again for a doctor-prescribed thing they say is a street drug. Really, that information ain't supposed to even hit the streets.
Right.
It's just a suspension. The majors of it. But now she has a surgery. They not paying for the surgery, supposedly. And then they're saying that she went and got in a ring on an indie show that wasn't their ring, while under contract with them, which is a violation. This thing has got some heat to it. And, you know, WWE is known for messy divorces.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of clean breaks. Like, they have some messy divorces. And this one looked like it's getting messier. And it's further complicated by she's dating somebody they don't like.
Right. Exactly.
So, just throw that in there. Significant other does matter. With that, I guess that's news. SmackDown, Keish. Randy Orton defeats Luke Harper via disqualification. Bray Wyatt shows up in a casket, of all things.
Yeah. So I was like, really? Oh, what's up with the casket, dude? Like, I really just had to question that a little bit. Because I was like, wait, why is he in a casket? You know? I really didn't understand that part of it all. But I guess I wasn't supposed to. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. Because it's like, how do you assess him being in a casket? It's Bray Wyatt. So, I don't know.
But shenanigans ensue as they look in the casket, and then Kane somehow ends up in the casket. Now, Kane is familiar with caskets due to his unusual background.
True.
But and then him and Randy fight off Bray and Luke, and I guess that's the new thing right now. So it's gonna be him and Randy versus Luke and Bray.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm guessing that's just how it's gonna go. But I'm just kind of like, okay. Like, how does this continue?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't really know what direction they plan to go with this, but it's a little confusing to me, I must say. I'm guessing the casket is supposed to symbolize Kane in a way. I don't know. I'm lost. I can honestly say I'm lost. I really don't even know how far we go into this. Like, what do we do with this? How does this, how does this continue, really? Like, what's next? Because personally, I seen the casket and I was like, oh, so we're gonna have a casket match at some point in the future. Oh, okay. Because when was the last time we seen one of those? I don't know.
Yeah, no. That's a thing. So Alexa Bliss defeated Naomi, and she was dressed as Freddy Krueger before the match. And I'm going to say creative. I give you an extra 5 bonus points. So now where we stand, because right now Naomi was like in this weird spot where she was near number 1 contender. But are we backing off of that now? Or
I guess. I don't know. Because I don't, but I don't think that Alexa Bliss is that determining factor for Naomi. Like, I think, of course, I feel like it made sense for her to take a loss to Alexa Bliss, considering Alexa Bliss is the number 1 contender right now. But I don't think that we're backing off of her necessarily. I just think that this is going to curve. It's just a curve a little bit, I really feel like this build for Naomi is going to continue. But I just don't know, like, how exactly they plan to continue it. This thing with her and Alexa Bliss right now, I feel is just, of course we both know it's just kind of a filler for the moment until Alexa actually faces Becky Lynch. But I don't think Naomi is just completely out of the picture. I feel like they are going to continue to push her like they should. And I think Alexa Bliss might help in that, but I don't think that they've given it up on Naomi. I'm not going to sit here and actually put that on her or them, or anything. I'm not going to speak that into existence. Like, I don't think they've given up on her. I don't think that they're done with her, not just yet, But that's the crazy thing about WWE, is they can be finished with a person like just as fast as they started to actually pay attention to them. So I definitely don't think this is it for her. So I don't know. I don't think they've backed off of it. I really don't.
Right. What's going on with Apollo Crews? Is he just kind of forgotten man? Like, I hadn't seen him in forever. But they used him with the Kurt Hawkins thing, and then they kind of run him off with the Kurt Hawkins match.
Yeah.
Well, they run off Kurt Hawkins. I'm sorry, but it just kind of like, okay, because I was
Right.
kind of worried. I was like, is he about to do a job?
Yeah, I was concerned about that too, but it didn't happen. Like, the match didn't even happen. And I was like, okay, so I don't know what they're doing with Apollo Crews. Like, I feel like they brought him to the main roster, and then they just kind of like, all right, go wrestle. And it's like, okay, so what was the point in that? Like, I really seriously question why they brought him to the main roster sometimes, because they are not doing anything with him, really. Like, this is the first time I've seen Apollo Crews actually on TV. That I can,
in a while.
In a while. Like, I'm like,
right.
Okay. You know,
yeah, like he
so
lost to Baron Corbin, and it was like, ooh, okay, what are we doing now?
right. You know, I can understand the push of Baron Corbin, but what I don't understand is Apollo Crews being pushed to the back because of it. You know, it didn't make sense to me to do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, Corbin's still wrestling Swagger, so we don't even know what's going on with that.
Ugh.
Question: do you think Crews was called up too soon to the main roster?
I do, only because I feel like they brought him up to the main roster but had nothing for him. So I didn't understand why they brought him up so soon if that was going to be the case. I think Apollo needs some work on his promos, but other than that, like, I don't think, to tell the truth, Apollo's good to me. Like, I think Crews is actually pretty good as far as, like, his ring abilities and everything. Like, I actually am very impressed by him. But I feel like WWE dropped the ball with him by bringing him up to the main roster but not having anything for him.
Okay,
you know how they with Neville and Balor and Corbin, and like there's been a few great examples of those that have been brought up for NXT that they've had things for them. Apollo was a bit of a surprise for me because when he was brought up, like, he just kind of just appeared, you know? Like, it was just like, okay, hey, it's Apollo Crews. And it's like, wait, when did that happen? And then after that, they just kind of, like, just had him wrestling, and that was it. But there was no, like, basis for him. There's no, like, basis for his character, the storyline, like, nothing. They just really didn't have anything for him.
Here's the thing. I don't think they fully fleshed out his character in NXT to begin with, right?
Right.
Which is a thing, right? Like, sometimes you need to go all the way through. But they saw his talent, his in-ring ability and stuff like that. They thought they could make it work. And I'm sure they still do. But as you say, I think he's gotten lost in creative. Now, there's a few guys who got... Neville, when he first came, was okay, but then he got lost in creative. And I think injuries also hampered that too.
Right. That's true.
I think Sami Zayn has gotten lost in creative. He, like, now they bring it out with Strowman, but, like, after they went through the Owens thing, I don't think they knew what to do with him next. Which they could have just kept pushing him forward, and the Owens thing just always would be popping up, but that's fine, right?
Right.
Everybody needs a nemesis. Yeah, so Sammy, I think, has fallen into that category. And there's a few other guys. Like, you see him and you're like, ooh, okay, where we going with this?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I just thought that about Crews. Carmella and Nikki Bella had the most boring segment of life.
Oh, Lord, help me. Oh, my God. Like, I was watching it and I was like, are we really doing this again? Like, how many times have Cena and Nikki being together been brought up you know, as in storylines against Nikki. Like, I just want to know. And then not only that, but Carmella was talking as if TV, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook don't exist. Like, oh, yeah, you're bringing up something that everybody has been seeing for how long? Like, oh, my God, Carmella, shut up. Like, it really got to me because I was just kind of like, do we really not have anything for her? Like, I just...
Well, I mean, okay. Her presence annoys me. Let's just put that out there.
Yeah. So that's one.
I think the Iggy Azalea music already kills it for me, but then just the whole, like, her demeanor just totally, I'm just like, okay. But to watch both of them exchange verbals was like, oh my God, y'all got to have something better to do with the TV time than this.
Right. Exactly.
And it was so lame and bad acted. Like, it was just like, why are we doing this?
It was horrible. It was such a way.
Makes sense, but their exchanges is just all so pathetic.
Yeah.
So the Miz and the Spirit Squad got a victory off Ziggler and Heath and Rhino.
The Spirit Squad, Lord help me.
Still getting TV checks. Kenny and Mikey is like, yo, we here. We gonna try to stretch this shit out as long as possible. Keep getting us a TV check. This is better than the Indies. I could be on the Indie circuit riding around in the car trying to get that bread, and
but
people lying to me.
I'm right here. Like, oh, God.
3 TV checks and a pay-per-view check. Like, yo, we gonna make this roll. Like I said, there are 2 other Spirit Squad members at the house that are pissed as hell. Like,
they are.
How did we not get in on this right here?
They are extra angry. I mean, extra. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, why am I not on TV? I'm pretty sure somebody's calling Vince right now. I'm just saying. They calling Vince. They calling Trips. They're calling somebody. Like, hey, so how about you bring back the rest of us? And they're like, no. We only needed 2. Bye.
Not even that. They calling Kitty like, hey man, I saw you and Mikey on TV. Man, can we get all this? And they like Kitty like voicemail.
Right. Exactly.
I bet your calls all go to voicemail. Like, new number, who this?
Exactly. Right. Like, say what? No, I don't know that person. Like, who's that calling? Bill collector. I don't have time for it.
No. Nope, don't know him.
Nope. I don't know. It's an unknown number. I don't answer those. Nah, don't have time for that. So, Yep, there's some seriously unanswered calls going on right now because they too busy making this money. All right. All I'm saying is this is a very retarded angle, but it's actually hilarious to watch, especially when they actually come out there and cheer. I'm like, this is so horrible, but hey, that's the Spirit Squad for you.
Right. So James Ellsworth beat AJ Styles again. It was by DQ, of course, but he beat him,
which is funny to me. It's hilarious to me how that happened.
Keish, are those T-shirts for real?
What T-shirts?
The James Ellsworth T-shirts. With his
I don't know.
Looking crazy.
I don't know. I want to see. Hold on, let me. The best place to look for that would be the WWE shop. So let's see.
Yeah, I know you're an expert on all things WWE shop. That's why I'm asking.
Oh yeah. See, I need, and it's funny because I still look on here for stuff like that because I know the I Got Kids shirts are real. Like, there's no way that's not real. Like, that's hilariously awesome. But let's see. I am on the site now. Oh, they got 2K17 stuff. Okay. So, yes. James Ellsworth's authentic T-shirts are real. The ones with his face looking crazy, yeah, that's a real shirt.
Yeah.
That is real.
The cheering for the win.
That is real. So, they definitely, that, as a matter of fact, which is funny, that's the very first thing that you see when you scroll down to, like, new stuff. Like, yeah, new products. That's exactly what you see right there. They also have new Goldberg shirts. Goldberg, the Devastation Continues. Yeah, those are some new shirts also on the WWE shop. Just so y'all know. They come in long sleeves and short. But yes, the James Ellsworth shirt with the face looking crazy, that is a real thing. That's definitely a real shirt. Which is awesome.
Yeah, he has pulled some checks out of this too, man. Woo! That's an indie guy a few months ago, and there's a lot of dudes he wrestled with on the indies that's cut up and muscular, like, ain't this a bitch?
Right.
But hey, man, he hit the right promo. If a man got two hands, he got a fighting chance.
Right.
All right.
So.
Damn right. you damn right. You got two hands, you got a fighting chance. Yep. I am with you, Jimmy.
That is like the best thing ever, I swear. And everybody else is with him too. He comes out, everyone's like, yeah! Yeah! Now, it's funny because you expect Ellsworth to get out there and just completely get destroyed. But that has not been happening due to the fact that Dean Ambrose has had a hand in this. Now, he did get beat up Tuesday night. That is true. But it was because Dean was egging on AJ, and, you know, that's what caused the disqualification. But this is what I was explaining to a friend on Facebook actually about a good hour or so ago. And this is hilarious to me. And he was mentioning Ellsworth having wins over AJ. And I'm like, when you think about it in the sense of a jobber has 2 wins over the WWE champion, it's like, nah. You know, you don't really, how do they let this happen? But when you put the context of what's going on into it, and that's what makes it so funny. The joke in it all is hilarious, and that's what makes this work so well. So I actually am supporting what they're doing right now. Now, I don't know how long this is going to last. I'm pretty sure this is not going to last much longer. But at the same time, it's funny. It's hilarious. Because the more you build up this anger and animosity and anticipation of the two facing each other, then the more that you will want to egg this thing on between Dean and AJ. I personally am excited about the whole Ellsworth thing because I feel like it's definitely working in his favor for right now. You know, I feel like it's working in the favor of the fans and the company to watch something so hilarious because it's funny. It is funny. Like if you don't think it's funny, of course, that's because it's being read deeper than what it is. Like, way deep. Which is fine, but at the same time, sometimes you just have to look at the surface. You have to really study the surface of it all. And that's the building of the storyline between AJ and Ambrose. Like, I wonder how much further this goes on, how much longer all of it goes on. Like, I'm really excited to see the outcome of all of this. But Ellsworth, man, like, I have to honestly say I'm a James Ellsworth fan. Like, I don't know about wearing the shirt because he does look absolutely crazy on that shirt, but I'm a James Ellsworth fan. He got my vote. That's all I'm saying. So, and who would think, regardless of how it happened, who would ever have thought that James Ellsworth would have 2 wins over AJ Styles, the current champion? Like, who would have ever in their right mind, like, sat back and be like, yeah, because James Ellsworth is going to beat AJ Styles? Like, that doesn't cross your mind. I don't care how it happened. The fact of the matter is that this is real. Like, this really happened. So, yeah, I don't know, but it's funny to me. That's
yeah. With that being said, Keish, we'll talk a little NXT, and specifically the 2016 Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic.
This thing has been going on. They're still currently in the first round, and this has gotten even more and awesome. This is getting more and more awesome, Keith. It really is.
Well, I saw Austin Aries picked up a partner.
Yes, he did.
It's not other than the recently signed Roderick Strong.
Yes, it is. Whew, yes. I think I was way more excited about that, but I don't think there's no such thing as being too excited about something. So yeah, definitely was surprised, but not surprised. I don't know. I actually was surprised because I didn't know they had signed Roderick Strong, so I was shocked. But that's just me. Maybe I was just a little behind on the times at the moment. But yeah, I was excited about it. So why not? I mean, yeah. These tag team combinations, though, like, some of them are really weird, but some of them make sense. Like, I don't know how else to put it.
Well, here's the thing. If you got to pick a favorite, wow. There's a lot of good teams, man. Alamis and Cedric Alexander, but they got to take on a Revival. So I mean, that's gonna be a hell of a first round match.
Right.
No Way Jose and Rich Swann. They taking on Tony Nese and Gulak. Now the Authors of Pain, I don't know who's gonna beat those behemoths. Because you gotta get them off their feet.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna happen either.
Ibushi got T.J. Perkins, so that's gonna be crazy. So you got that going on. You got Team Aries. Gargano and Ciampa, they together, and I mean that's a potential favorite. I mean, I think they can run through this thing.
Right.
So it's gonna be lit. So we're gonna culminate at TakeOver in Toronto. Am I right?
Yes, that's where it culminated at, and I actually am excited to see the tag teams progress, like who's going to move on and whatnot. I actually thought, because this happened last week, I thought that we were going to actually see Bobby Roode and Ty Dillinger as a tag team. You know, I actually was excited about the Glorious 10. But that
apparently that's not going to happen.
That didn't happen.
And they probably going to have a match at TakeOver, I'm assuming.
They are going to have a match at TakeOver. The Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger, actually officially challenged Bobby Roode to a match at NXT last night, and Bobby Roode has accepted. This match is going to happen. It will take place at TakeOver Toronto. the tag team that they faced was from the group Sanity, which Nikki Cross had her first victory last night also, but it was reversed because she couldn't stop beating up the girl. Like, I swear they're crazy, man. But I think Sanity is going to have, like, one of the best runs in NXT, personally.
I like a faction showing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we got a faction. And Eric Young is really good at leading factions.
Yes, he is. He's awesome.
Quiet as kept. Because, World Elite, that would go some old school TNA. Was my stuff, man. Woo, British Invasion and them guys. But Eric Young was the great psycho that led it all, and he didn't back down. Wasn't scared of the main event mafia.
Right.
Wasn't scared of TNA, whatever those guys was called, which led to one of the greatest all-out brawls that wrestling has ever seen. So, I'm excited, Keisha. I'm excited to see where all this stuff pops off.
I was excited when they debuted it last week because it was crazy because I didn't get to see NXT until the next day. So, of course, I'm always on the network, and the first thing you see, if you pull it up on the mobile app, like on the phone, of course, it's through the WWE app, so you just see the news first, and then I seen Eric Young's face, and I was like, wait, what did I miss? Like, I literally watched NXT, like, right in and there. I was like, time out, what did I miss? Like, what happened? And that's when I watched the first, because this all happened in the first 20 minutes of the show. And I was too excited. I feel like I'm so glad that Sanity is a faction and not just, like, one person or two people, I'm glad that it's four individuals brought together, led by Eric Young, that's including him in that four. And it's not like huge, but it's big enough, I feel like factions don't always have to be like 10 people or 5 people or 8 people or whatever, to be great.
Most
it
great
is what
ones
it is.
Are the greatest ones. The magic number is 4. All right, in any faction, to be great, the magic number is 4. Everything else is trash. Well, no, I take that back. 3 can work. Anything like anytime they get bloated and they start adding people and you start getting affiliates and stuff like that, it's about to be terrible.
Yeah, it is.
The NWO sucked when it was 38 people.
Oh my God, it was horrible. It was horrible when they got. As a matter of fact, I felt like the NWO was best when it was just Hall, Nash, and Hogan. Like, period. Because the second they started adding folks, it just went downhill from there. And you're right. Like, it's crazy because for that particular faction, like 3 worked. 3 was best. But like oh my God, like most other factions, they were either too big, too small. It was just awful, It was just awful. But yeah, I always felt like small is best, but not like small, like, oh, it's just me, him, and another person. It's like, seriously. Like X Factor, it wasn't that great to me. I was not impressed. Like, I was like, what? Like, I love X-Pac. I actually like Just Incredible. But them 3 together was weird, and it was just kind of like, okay, what is this? So there's that, just to bring another example. But Sanity, I feel like, was... I really want to, like, shake the hand and hug the person that came up with this concept. Because we hadn't seen Eric Young in a while.
Yeah, no, to your point with Eric Young, hadn't seen him in a while. He made his debut. He made a splash, and then it was like, okay, what do we do now? And then I kind of hadn't thought about it.
Right.
And then the debut with Sandy came. I was like, that's right, he is signed with the WWE.
Right. I had just actually recently had said to a friend not too long before that, like I was like, yeah, because he was talking about TNA stars being added to NXT, and I was like, yeah, Eric Young, he was there for a minute, and I was like, he was there for like a hot second, and then he was gone, and then the next thing I know, he's with Sanity, and I'm like, oh my God, he didn't leave. I was excited about it. I was like, oh, thank God he didn't leave. So I don't know, but I'm glad that this is happening, man. It's gonna keep me watching every week. I can tell you that. If I already was watching every week anyway, but now I just want to see what's going to happen next with them. So, and they've moved up in the tag team tournament, so there's that. This is awesome, man. Oh, this is greatness. Okay, I'm done. Let me calm down.
Right. But with that being said, I think we've got a good tournament, and I'm excited.
Right.
And we will continue on next week, where we will preview Hell in a Cell, and we will talk about everything else that is fantastic going on in the world of professional wrestling. So with that being said, Keith, we are out.
Bye.